Alberta Clippers. Snowstorms come in many forms, and storm experts know them by many names, such as the Panhandle Hook or the Northeaster. Each type of storm exhibits certain traits depending on where it gets started and where it goes. One type of snowstorm known throughout North America is the Alberta Clipper. On a satellite photo, a clipper looked small, but it can be at least as dangerous as a storm three times its size. As the name suggests, the storms form over the western Canadian plains, usually in the province of Alberta. Once they form, they move fast. It is not unusual for a clipper to travel its route from western Canada to the Atlantic in about 72 hours. It is also not unusual for several clippers to light up one after another, striking the same areas over and over again. The original energy for an Alberta clipper comes from the Pacific Ocean. During a normal winter, storms come ashore over western North America continually at 2 or 3 day intervals. A storm that comes in over British Columbia or southeastern Alaska will drop most of its moisture on the coastal rainforests, but the low pressure area at the core of the storm may hang together as it crosses the Rocky Mountains. The storm, still a coherent swirl around the small center, enters very cold air over the North American high plains, now quite dry. The low temp the low pressure system wraps the cold air into itself. It then rises southeast on a stream of air coming down from the Arctic. As it moves south, it encounters slightly warmer air and slightly more moisture. These both feed into the storm and reinforce it. Warmer air moves northward along the eastern front edge of the clipper. Cold air slices southwards on the western back half. The boundary between these two air masses, called the cold front, is very sharply defined. Once the cold front passes, the air temperature may plunge 30 degrees Fahrenheit in just an hour. Most of the snow in an Alberta glacier falls in the warm eastern section of the storm. In a typical glacier, this is not very much, perhaps 2 or 3 inches of light, dry snow. But even such small amounts can cause a lot of trouble once a glacier truce force itself is felt. As the temperature falls behind the cold front, vicious winds of at least 35 or 40 miles per hour create around blizzards. No new snow falls during a ground blizzard, but those 2 or 3 inches that fell earlier are whipped into lightning swirls. Visibility drops to almost zero.